going on, everybody? Lawson Turner back with another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. As always, let's get straight into the playoff action that was last night. We had probably the best TNT doubleheader in as long as I can remember. It was flat out outstanding. It was crazy. I The amount of clutchness that happened in this game from both sides. We had multiple just Josh Hart takeover moments to Joel Embiid going, doing what he does. We saw Tyrese Maxey was questionable in this game with the flu. I don't know if it was the flu, it said sickness, but the changing of the seasons, we know that it can be hard on these athletes to continue to be at 100%. So the Knicks ended up winning 104-101, and this game it started out exactly how I thought the game would start out. The Sixers were playing good defense. They were getting out on the break. They were taking advantage of mismatches. Tyrese Maxey could not miss in the first 3 minutes. He was outstanding throughout. He ended up with 35 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. Outstanding game. Excuse me, for someone who's questionable with illness, I didn't know how effective he would be, and it seemed not to affect him one bit. Not one bit did it seem to affect him at all. Joel Embiid, he was questionable with his knee coming in, and I saw reports and pundits on other sports talk shows should they sit him? And I'm like, should they? If you're gonna sit Joel, you're in the sense you're throwing the case that you're just gonna be down 0-2, in which then your chances of coming back and winning a series down 0-2 are not likely at all. But in 39 minutes, the 34 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists was surprisingly shaky from the free throw line. 8 for 12. We normally see Joel, around that 10. Like, if Joel's going to take 12 free throws, we expect him to hit, 10, 11 of them. He's an outstanding free throw shooter for a player of his size. And he wasn't effective. He shot the ball 29 times and only made 12. And he took 9 threes. Well, he took 8 unless you're, counting the last chance heave at the buzzer, but we're going to get into that. Let's go to the Knicks side. Josh Hart, I didn't know this till just now. I got the box score. He played all 48 minutes. He's been the Iron Man. Like, over the past 2 months, it's been Josh Hart's averaging over 40 minutes a game. And that's a lot to put on somebody, but this team is all vibes, heart, will, determination, grit. And we saw it get a little chippy in the second quarter between, Hartenstein and Joel. And Hart was every time the Knicks needed something, because the Sixers would extend their lead to double digits. Josh Hart would hit a big three. Then the Sixers would just answer everything that the Knicks were doing. Sixers were playing good defense, getting out, getting the looks they wanted. And down the stretch in the second and third quarter, Josh Hart was taking over. Like, Josh Hart, 21 points, 15 rebounds, had 4 threes, and he hit one in transition, and he just pulled up and laced it. And when that happened, I was like, oh, hell. If you give this Knicks team that's Hart and Will more confidence than they already have, Sixers are going to have a problem. And the Sixers do a really good job on Jalen Brunson, so Jalen Brunson has needed, his team to give him some support over these first 2 games, and they have. Brunson in 37 minutes, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Good just from a points, rebounds, assist, standpoint, but another inefficient game against the Sixers. He was 8 of 29 and 1 for 6 from 3 and missed 2 free throws. And the 1 3 he made was late in the game and hit the rim, went up and in to cut it to 2, and then the possession we all No, and the Sixers fans will not want to think about when, like, you have a timeout with 30 seconds left. No, no, it was 30 seconds. It was 13 seconds. Why did I think there was more time? I thought, time. When Jalen, it wasn't even 13 seconds is when the Donte DiVincenzo shot happened. When Jalen Brunson hit this three with 27.4 seconds left. In theory, Knicks don't have to foul. There's still a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. You got time to work, and the Sixers inbound to Maxey. Maxey's anticipating a foul. Ball gets stripped. Nick Nurse is trying to call timeout. Refs don't see it or acknowledge it, and we know the rest of the story. Ball gets batted around, swung to Donte DiVincenzo, wide open three, missed it, and Joel is boxing out 6'5" Josh Hart. And, Isaiah Hartenstein crashes the glass, perfect offensive rebound, tries to kick it out to OG Anunoby. He ends up doing it. OG swings it, and Donte, keeping that confidence high, catches, fires, and smacks for the lead. And the Knicks fans blew up. They blew up Madison Square Garden. It was awesome to see. We love seeing these big market teams. We've been striving and waiting for the Knicks to return to any kind of glory and relevancy. And last year, they had a little bit of a spark. They're like, okay, this Knicks team's relevant now. They have a star, and then they make a move at the trade deadline this year for OG and Anunoby. Well, 2 weeks before the trade deadline, and they were one of the best teams down the stretch in the regular season. And then they match up with the Sixers, and it's like, well, the Sixers have, Joel Embiid, who's not 100%, Tyrese Maxey, and this team is hard. And they refuse to give up. They refuse to give up. Jalen Brunson shooting the ball 29 times proves, well, it doesn't prove anything to me. It shows me what I already knew about Jalen Brunson. He's going to keep shooting. And there's nothing wrong with that. Shooters shoot. That's the saying. If you're a shooter, shoot. And he's a playmaker. He's a scorer more than just a shooter. He's a 3-level scorer. Shoots the 3 ball well, but in the recent games against the Sixers, just hasn't been the Jalen Brunson we saw over the past month. And the Knicks can still, pull out this series. They have a 2-game lead, which numbers are in your favor of winning this series. But we're going to need one. This next game in Philly, game 3, this is going to be the hardest one. Because Philly fans are going to be rocking. They're going to be rowdy. They're going to be loud. If the Sixers go on an 8-0 run, 10-0 run, I would be shocked if the roof doesn't blow off the place. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be flat out crazy. Now, what can the Sixers do to win game 3? I don't think it's that hard. Joel needs to do what we've seen Joel do all year long when he's been semi-healthy. And he's semi-healthy now. 35. Am I asking too much for 13 rebounds? 4 or 5 assists. Protect the rim. Maxey, you've been... Well, last game proved to me about Tyrese Maxey. He's not afraid. He's flat out not afraid. I don't want to word this. I thought that Tyrese Maxey has been good all year long. He's one of the finalists for most improved player. I'm 90. You know what? Let me double check. Let me double check on that. Finalists for most improved player. Yeah, he is. So it I didn't know if the moment would be not necessarily too big for him because we saw him have a couple playoff performances last year where it's like, wow, who is this kid? And he's, coming into his own. But Joel, you're gonna shoot the ball. Excuse me. If you're gonna shoot the ball 29 times, I need north of 50%. And a lot of your shots are jump shot are just deep middies from the elbow towards the top of the key, a step from inside the 3-point line. I've I've talked to my friends about this for 3 years now since Joel's started to come into his own. Just get your big ass on the block. Nobody can stop you. You're 7'1", 7'2", what, 80? No one can keep you from dominating. And Mitchell Robinson's giving you some shit over the past 2 games. He's made it tough. Very tough. But Joel Embiid needs to, look in the mirror and realize I am the most dominant force in the National Basketball Association. And no one can dominate a game like you can. Get on the block, draw your fouls, in which you're one of the best in the league at doing, and dominate inside. And protect the rim. And control the glass. You're the most dominant player in the NBA right now, when healthy or slightly, not injured, but if you're playing at, 85, 90%, you're still one of the top 3 most dominant, players in the NBA. And you can be dominant on both ends. We've seen you have, damn near double-digit block games. So, Joel, your team needs you to continue doing what you're doing and be more efficient because you can dominate this series. Isaiah Hartenstein, he can't stop you. Mitchell Robinson, as much as he's been giving you fits, he can't stop you. That is about all I have for this game. This game was crazy, and I hope the 2 games tonight are going to be, the 3 games, 2 on TNT, are going to be just as crazy as last night's games were. They were outstanding and awesome. Well, that's all I have for the Knicks Sixers game 2 reaction. Yeah, that was a crazy game. The Knicks up 2-0 going to Philly. It should be an awesome game 3, and game 3 of that series is on Thursday. We see these, 2-0, could be 3-0 series be a do or die for game 3. And it's going to be tough. But, both these teams are good. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Lawson Turner for the Cover 2 podcast. Now I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.